Active Investor here, bringing you another independent analysis. This time we're taking a look at Blackberry Ltd. Right off the bat, I'd like to give you guys a heads up that Blackberry is scheduled to report earnings on April 1st, Friday. Anyway, fundamentally speaking, it's not the most sound company. The track record hasn't been so good for them earnings-wise, but they are trying to expand into new market segments, specifically software development, which could turn out to be pretty well for them. But a lot of analysts are expecting these earnings to be pretty bad. Anyway, that's fundamentally speaking. Technically speaking, I think there's some money to be made playing these earnings, and you can see this uptrend in the last 2 days. We have actually seen a lot of people trying to buy in, so regardless of the fundamentals, if there is a trend there, technically speaking, we can play that and make some money. So let's take a look. Each of these periods is going to represent a 1-day period, and each of these candles is going to represent a 15-minute block. So you could say we're looking at a 5-day, 15-minute chart, basically a trading week here. Now let's take a look at the open. Right away, start of the week, Blackberry kind of came down and it hit my pivot point. Now real quick, for those of you who are new to my videos, these purple lines represent my pivot points, which is an area that was support that broke and turned to resistance, or vice versa. In other words, it helps us determine and estimate price action. So we did kind of dance along the pivot point there before we broke it. After hours, opened up, pretty bullish candle, but the next one was pretty bullish too, but it just wasn't enough really. The price did dip down, kind of channeled this whole day, didn't really move too much, and it channeled here for a little bit, started to come up, got denied at my pivot point, and it did move down a little bit. After hours, same deal, started to go up a little bit, kind of got denied, opened it low, and halfway through the day here, we did push up past the pivot point and almost to the next one, but not quite. The bulls weren't strong enough to get to that next point. If they did, it would have probably got denied anyway. So not the biggest loss. Came back down, and then here's where we had a real nice opening. Look at that. Nice bullish candle, bringing us all the way up past the pivot point, almost to the next one. We almost covered an entire pivot point section, you could say, in just the first fourth of the trading day, basically. Pretty good sign there, but the bears swiped it back down, not quite to the pivot point, but almost there. Channeled a little bit, you know, we tried to get back up, but we came back down, and this time it did touch my pivot point, and it bounced right off, came back down, and it didn't break it. And after hours, you could say it did bounce, judging by that doji there. So technically speaking, we do have a double bottom formed, which is a bullish reversal pattern. Good sign to see there. Now let's take a look at some of our other bullish indicators. I'm going to scroll down here and you guys can see the MACD. So our MACD is on the verge of crossing over with a bullish cross, and it's starting to get very close to the zero line. The moving average should start pushing up above the zero line, and that combined with a bullish cross is going to be a very bullish sign. Also, our RSI is oversold, starting to leg up, so we should see some price movements to the upside very soon. Also, you guys can't see it on this chart, but on the 1 day, the 4 hour, 2 hour, 1 hour, and the 30-minute charts, we are oversold, so there's definitely room to start moving up. The only thing that kind of concerns me is our Kijun cross. The Kijun is the orange line, the Tenkan is the blue line. Our Kijun is our bearish line, and our Tenkan is our bullish line. So the bearish line crossed over the bullish line, which is a bearish sign. In other words, that's not the kind of movement we want to see when we're going long on something. We want the blue to be above the orange, and not only that, but we want to see the candles above both lines. Like here, if you take a look, the candles were above both lines, and here they were as well, but then they kind of channeled in between the two, and at the very end of the day, we were below both. So my sentiments on Blackberry is bullish, but I'm not going to make a play yet. I want to see how this plays out the rest of after hours today, which is only about an hour left. And I want to see how it plays out pre-market tomorrow and at open. I think there's room to keep moving up, like I said, but I'm not going to go long on it just yet. I will keep an eye out for an earnings play tomorrow, but I do want to see how it plays out pre-market before I go long on this. And if we do start pushing up, we're going to have to break this resistance up here, which is right around 8.22. So we don't have too much room, really. We're right around $8.05 right now. So just a 20 cents or even less is going to put us to that resistance, so we're going to have to break that. But I mean, it's not going to be the most difficult thing. You can see the bulls really killed this pivot point well here. The last thing I'd like to mention is where we closed here today. we closed higher than where we opened, and we closed higher than where we closed yesterday. And the same thing with this last candle. We closed higher than where we opened, and we closed higher than where we closed. So that's a good sign to see. We are still technically in that uptrend. It's just starting to get a little bit weaker, but like I said, it could keep legging up. So keep an eye out pre-market if you're not already in here, because we could have a good play for a long on earnings and make a little bit of money. Hopefully everything works out for you guys. Hopefully this video helped out, and I'll talk to you later.